Maxim, hello to you. Please give an introduction about yourself.
Erkas, thank you for having me here. So, in short, my name is Maxim. I'm a content creator. Basically, I've learned all the skills the that I use right now for content creation and sales in the real world. So far,
Mhm,
I've made 6K thanks to the real world, which I think is great.
mhm. And how old are you?
I'm 17.
17 years old. Made 6K. Congratulations.
Thank
Doing
you.
quite well for yourself. And are you still in high school then?
Yes, yes, sir.
If you don't mind me asking as well, where are you from?
I'm from Slovakia.
Slovakia. Okay. So yeah, have the full picture now. From Slovakia in high school, 17 years old, and 6,000 thanks to the content creation campus. All right. What was it like actually joining the real world? What campuses did you get into? What was your initial impression? Whatever you remember from that.
Well, I remember in the very beginning, I found Tate like super early. I think before he implemented the strategy of the affiliate campus, but I didn't then see him for a long time. And then I started seeing videos of him pop up. That's when the Hustlers University 2.0 came out, and I was thinking about joining, but I first I thought it's a scam because I didn't know him. But after joining, it really showed me that it's not. I think I first did copywriting, yeah, and then I didn't really. I think I had like 2 months pause where I didn't have enough money to keep buying the subscription. So that's when I decided like let me grind a little bit. And then I sort of naturally came to content creation because as I was doing the copywriting, I decided I want to build my personal brand, which now I don't really do anymore. But I started posting posts on Instagram, Reels, and from there I got into content creation. A few months later, I joined again because I've seen a new ad for the real world that they're teaching now content creation and AI. So I was like, I don't want to miss out on this. And then I joined, and that's when I really started earning big money, or like big for me right now.
Right. And yeah, in Slovakia, I mean 6,000, and that would be euros, I'm presuming, right? Or did you convert it to dollars? Although
Yeah,
there's not
euros.
much of a discrepancy. So yeah, 6,000 euros. Actually, I would like to know then, what is your plan for the money you've made? Are you just planning on investing into something, or are you rewarding yourself and spending it?
So far, like I would say 90% of the money I've reinvested. I've bought a new computer, new phone, a new just gear,
Mhm.
keyboard, stuff that I use for work, and I don't yet really try to enjoy the money.
Yeah. Smart. Okay, and then what was it like landing your first client? How did you actually acquire them?
That was very interesting because I've been sending out tons of emails that I didn't really put thought into. I just sent like 100 emails that looked completely the same. It was clear that it's just copy paste. That was in the time that I wasn't in the real world. After I joined, I realized like I need to be perspicacious. I need to improve constantly, find better ways, put more effort into it. But yeah, I was sending these emails, and one guy actually came back to me, and I thought like he he's giving me a great opportunity. But what I didn't understand was that he wanted me to work for him for free, and he would refer me to his other friends that also want an editor. But yeah, I worked for him for free for a little bit, but then his good friend reached out to me, and that was my first like real client, and it was very good. After hearing him that he agrees. And
That he was, sorry?
after hearing him saying yes, basically, to my
Ah,
offer,
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
and from there, I kind of understood like if I just stick to it, it will snowball and grow bigger and bigger.
Mhm. Okay. So fair enough, because some people who say, work for me for free, then you'll get this later. Some are just scamming. So it's good that that wasn't the case for you, and you actually landed a client after, and you stayed true to what you said. And did you actually have any prior video editing experience before you joined the real world?
No, not at all.
So everything from scratch.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. And what kind of editing do you do? More short form, long form, anything?
I think as most people, I started with short form, and then I got a bigger client that wanted me to do short form plus long form. So
Mhm.
that's when I started doing also long form, and now I also have clients that I do solely long form for.
Mhm. Solid. And then, are you on retainers with clients, or what does 6K made up of a lot of one-off kind of deals?
It was mostly retainers, maybe like two or three one-off deals, but it was mostly retainers monthly.
So all recurring, very good. And let's go on to yourself then. How different is your average day now compared to before you joined the real world?
That's a good question. It's vastly different. I now, even stuff like school, I still have to go to school, but when I'm in school, I get good grades even though I spent no time learning at home because one very underrated thing the real world taught me is to not be lazy. So when I'm in school, I try to work a little bit on my phone, but since I can't do much, I just pay attention and get good grades. So just that little thing that I'm not lazy. So when I need to do some task, even though it might be pointless or I don't like it, I just do it.
Mhm.
If it's the best thing I can do at the moment.
Right.
But
How is that different from before? How you were before joining?
well, before I joined, I I hated school. I just like every kid. When I was in school, I was scrolling on Instagram. Then I got home, I was scrolling on Instagram, so I didn't really do anything. I maybe hit the gym like 5 times a week, but after joining the real world, I basically spent few minutes on Instagram texting friends or partners. So I come home from school and I just work.
Mhm.
That's the biggest difference.
What do you say to people who call that excessive? Just working so much, especially at your age.
Well, that's an interesting question because from one point of view, I understand that life is not just work, but from the other side of the coin is that I like work. I don't see it like, oh, I now I gotta clock in and work. I want to work. So when someone tells me like it's excessive or you shouldn't work that much, I usually just smile because I know they will not be successful with that kind of mindset. And I like being different. So it
Nice.
makes me feel good.
That's a good mindset. Okay. Feel different. All right. And what do your parents say about what you're doing?
I I have divorced parents, so I live with my mom, so my mom is more more engaged with me, so she knows more. But she likes it because I now can help her more. She likes that I'm not just doing nothing. She's happy,
Mhm.
yeah, and my dad is proud that I'm not lazy.
All right. Nice. So yeah, reflects. how would I say? It's good when your parents see the changes and are supportive as well. So that's very nice. And since you're on this trajectory, where do you see your life heading then in the short term, medium term, and long term?
Well, short term, I guess right now I'm at that point where I'm trying to scale things. So it's it's hard for me to actually say where I'll be in 1 month because if everything goes well as I planned it to go, and if I really try, as Tate says, if you try, you will succeed if you really try. But if I really put the effort in, I should easily get to 10 10K a month plus.
Mhm.
And in long term, it's even harder to say. I don't even want to say where I want to go because it could limit me, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Once again, a good mindset. And either way, maybe you heard this from one of Pope's calls. I remember he mentioned it there. It's something I heard even before he said it. But billionaires, they don't actually plan that much for future. They just take it a day at a time. And what was the quote? Um, Tomorrow's problems are a blessing for those who have solved today's. That's kind of the mindset they have. So it's about executing every single day on the task list or whatever it is you need to do. And as long as you focus on that every day, then that will all compound. And who knows just how far you can get. So now incorporating what you said, actually having a goal would then potentially even just limit yourself because then you just reach that and think, I've achieved it. Now I can relax or whatever else. So
Yeah,
fair
man.
enough.
I always
And
like to refer to Tate's
mhm,
quote, the most famous one, unmatched perspicacity coupled with sheer indefatigability, because if you put the reps in, that's basically half of the success guaranteed. But I think most people overlook the perspicacity, which I've learned as I was talking about the emails. You not only need to put the reps in, but always every day try and improve yourself and improve your
mhm,
strategies or work or whatever.
right. Indeed. And I would like to also ask you, how has the learning material been within the content creation campus? How was it going through it? What even would you say were the most insightful things you learned if you could put your finger on it?
So I was very pleasantly surprised seeing the courses because it was super stripped down to the most important stuff. So there was no fluff like in school. It takes 4 years to barely learn something, and right here, after watching basically the course, basically once, I've learned everything I didn't need it to make money, and it took me maybe a week if I take in consideration like implementing it and really trying to understand it. It took me maybe a week to uh, consume and really understand all the important lessons.
Mhm. Okay. And anything stands out in terms of biggest insights? If nothing comes to mind, no problem. We can just move on.
Let me think for a second, but nothing, nothing like super revolutionary comes to mind. But I think that's a good thing because uh, I think everything there is basically super high level value. So it's hard to pick one thing that's like really the, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, fair enough. Then we can end off with, for people who are unsure about joining the real world because maybe like you used to think, what if it's a scam for $50? What advice would you have to those people?
So part of me says have fun staying broke, but if you're reasonable and you at least are looking into it, but maybe you're unsure or you don't trust it, I can tell you for a fact that it has the value. I've spent maybe in total 200 or 300 bucks on the subscriptions and I've made 6K back. So I think that's enough of a proof that it works and it always never stops improving. Like every day I come there and there's a new lesson or new call with new insights, especially like it's super visible on the crypto or trading campuses because the market changes every second. And from what I can understand, I'm not really that active there, but from what I've seen, it basically improves all the time. So it's not like in school books from 1980s
Mhm.
that teach the same thing. Like it always improves every day, and that's what I really like about it.
Indeed, basically all the campuses just updating, some daily, some at the latest weekly. So yeah, always new information, always evolving. Indeed, and yeah, Maxim. I know I said Maxim kind of in a Russian way when we first began. So you're saying it's Maxim, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Maxim, thank you for coming on and sharing your experience with the real world and some of your story as well. Let's do a follow up some point in future as you continue scaling, getting more revenue in. I'm sure you will, at, at the very least, get to your 10K mark. And then, as you say, it's hard to set a limit on something when you know your potential and just how much you can actually achieve. So I do wish you all the best with that, and will be good to document your story along the way. But yeah, I wish you all the best. Until next time.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.